What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Zhangxing Cold Dragon, their version of a Beast Wars Transmetal Megatron in blue. So he didn't ever actually appear in this color in the cartoon. I believe this is actually a toy deco that Hasbro put out later on after the show was over. So the original red version that Zhangxing put out is actually the toy or show accurate version. This is the toy version, the repaint version. But it really is a beautiful looking figure. This was sent to me by Mr. G. Tony. Thanks to him for allowing me to take a look at this crazy beast. It does come with a couple things. So you do get this collector's card. It's got a hologram on it. Kind of cool. So he changes into the beast. And then on the back you got his tech specs. It says MetalBeast, and then there's all his numbers. He's pretty high and everything. He's got all the specs. And there's the company name, Zhangxing. Pretty cool. Let's get in and take a look at this guy. He is just amazing to look at. He's pretty big, so it's going to be tough to get him all in on one shot, but you can see this paint job is phenomenal. You've got the light blue, dark blue, purple, a little bit of white, silver. I mean, there's gunmetal pieces. There's die cast here. The die cast is done in this gunmetal color. There's purple down here. There's red over here. The wings are of gradient color, so it's not even one color. It goes from purple to lighter blue. I do have the wings kind of separated just so they're not banging against each other in robot mode. They recommend you collapse these, but I leave them open just a little bit so they're not like clacking against each other as we do this review. Really nice looking. Let's get on the head sculpt there. You can see really nice looking head set. Now the head is kind of locked in, but you can actually take it out. So if you come to the back here, you can see he's got his tail hanging off the head. Well, if you lift it up out of here, that'll allow you to rotate this whole thing. So you can kind of move it whatever direction you want. If you want to put the head down, you can do that. You want to go up. It's a little bit harder to go up, but you can get his head upwards like that. You can't open up this cap here, or the top, and that'll allow you to access the head. And this has a change out feature, so go ahead and pull off the crest. There's that gold paint. You get one alternative crest, so you can put this one on here. Looks a little more beasty. It's got those horns or thorns. You can put that one on, and he gets a little bit different of a look. His head kind of gets a little bit more narrow. His eyes get a little more narrow. I don't know if that's a Japanese look or that's just whatever, but there's the face sculpt. You get quite a few alternate faces, so we'll go through them all here. Here's the standard face. There's a, I guess, goatee face, wide grimace. There's with teeth showing grimace. There's this teeth snarling face. That's pretty crazy. Really nice paint on these. There is the smiling or snickering face with the teeth showing. There's, I don't know what this is. Kind of a goofy face, I guess. And then here's just an angry, probably a really angry face. I'll put that one back on. And then you can kind of choose between the two head crests. They work with both. I'll put this one back on. There you get that angry look there on him. Really cool. Lots of options there for the face. You can kind of choose whichever you think is appropriate. He is back heavy, so you'll be noticing as I'm manipulating him, he does tend to lean back. You got a lot of weight back. You got the tail, you got the two wings. And they actually even show in one picture having these wings folded back like this, which makes him even more back heavy. So you're better off having it folded towards the front. But either way, really menacing looking. You do get accessories, of course, for his arms. So in the box, he comes with this arm folded up, the hand folded away. So I'll show you how to put it away a little bit later. But you can notice that this arm is big and bulky, whereas this one's tiny and skinny. It all has these dragon scales on it. So you get that really cool effect all throughout. Dragon scales kind of all over, just mixed in with the sculpt. So they sculpted in that detail. And it really does look nice. But you will notice this arm is a little bigger, and that's because this can mount the dragon head several ways. So why don't I show you the dragon, and here it is up close. You got that same pearlescent, sort of greenish white, it's hard to tell. Purple here, blue here, really just sculpted everywhere. You can't open up the bottom of the mouth and the top of the mouth, and you get that piece in there, and yes, of course, it lights up. There's a switch back here. I've already put the batteries in, so if you turn it to the right side, you get the red, and it comes with a red blast effect. And it doesn't light up that much. Here, let's see if we can turn the light off. So there it is with the red light and red effect. Or if you prefer, since this is Cold Dragon, and you want him to have ice, you can turn it to blue, which is moving the switch the other way, and then you can put in the blue effect. It looks like that. Really, really cool. Just awesome that you have both options here. And the light up feature works really well. It looks really nice. It does light up his eyes a little bit too. You get a little bit of that blue in the eye. Now if you close this up, you get the blue a little bit better. But mostly it's for that mouth. So you can open up the top and the bottom, and you can get really wide. You can get all the way up to there. So in order to utilize this dragon head, you can kind of put it on a couple ways. So number one, you can open up this little flap right here, and then there's a little tab here on the end, and that's just going to sit right in there, and now he can be holding his dragon head kind of like a Megatron gun, almost like the G1 character where he's got the gun. And of course you can use the blast effect in this mode, so he can be freezing some bad guys. I don't know. I assume this shoots ice, but who knows. I do find that this piece falls off. It only fits in one way. It's keyed. So you can see there's a little slot right there, and that's going to fit on the bottom of this. But I find that it falls out, so you might want to just glue the whole thing. But there you go for that effect. Really, really nice. Now, if you don't like it on the side of the arm, which I don't think was accurate to the cartoon, you can take that out of there. Just be careful as you pull this out. Pull it straight up. Close that back down. And we're going to come to the arm here. So fold that down. Fold this up this way. Fold this panel down. Open up this panel. And you might need a spudger. I recently lost my spudger. I'm not sure where it went. So I'll use my bigger spudger here. All right, when you fold up these fingers, make sure you have the second joint straight. So it looks something like that. It's actually wrong in the book. It tells you to fold them up completely. If you do that, you won't be able to fit it in there. All right, so it should look like that. Go ahead and close this up. Close that back up. That pegs right in. And you're left with that little mark there. Oh, and this is really kind of gets in the way. That's why I try to separate them so they're not clacking all the time as we do this review. But that same tab from before is going to slot into here. This is a very, very tight fit. First time it's kind of scary. Now it goes in not too bad, but initially it was very scary. But now, put that arm back down, and he can use this weapon against some of his enemies. All right, let's go over the articulation on this guy. He's very articulated. I showed you the head already. You can rotate around, continue downwards. The shoulder pads can move up and down. They're on a ball joint, and then the ball joint is actually on a peg, so you can move that. So really you can get these in any direction. That needs to be transformed when we transform it, so that's why it's got so much movement. The arms will go up to there, and actually there's another joint, so you can get it way up, way down. Rotates around, nice tight ratchets. You have a rotation at the elbow. You have an elbow joint there, gets you, let's see, looks like the full bend. There's an extra joint here that's mainly for transformation, but you can get a lot of movement out of that because of the way it's designed. You have hip skirts here, and they do end up becoming a nuisance later, but here you can open up these hip skirts. The leg can go up to there. Be careful of collision. This is a chrome paint. It is very easy to scratch. I did warn G. Tony it might get scratched. back to here, but then hindered by this piece back here. If you fold that piece inwards, you can get a little bit further. If you get these wings out of the way, get the legs out to the side. Again, all on friction joints. Rotation at the thigh. You have a single jointed knee, gets you well past 90 degrees. A little articulation here. That's mostly for transformation. And again, I recommend being careful during articulation so you don't scratch up some metal parts. On the bottom here, you have a ankle tilt. It goes out to there. This kind of drops down. So you can see there's a drop down joint. It goes way back to there, way forward. Each toe is individually articulated. They have an outward movement. They have a downward movement. They have a, let's see, in and out, yeah. And then the back heel spur does move up and down, and then the actual claw bends too. I mean, it's just an insane amount of articulation. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to the Beast Wars Optimus Primal. I feel so silly because G-Tony also had sent me the Transmetal Optimus Primal, and I already sent it away before doing this comparison, so I think he intended for me to compare with that. But since this is the only one I have, there it is. He's obviously massive. It'll probably be a little bit less big compared to the Optimus Primal from Transmetal, but still massive, massive figure here. All right, now let's get this guy transformed into his dragon mode. This is a very large figure, hard to handle, so I'm going to do my best to keep it on camera, but there may be spots where I get off camera. If you haven't noticed, I already upgraded back to my original camera, so you can kind of see everything. But I'm going to do my best to show everything on camera. So first we can do kind of the easy steps. Go ahead and open up the arm, and we already did this one, so we put the dragon head on there already. So you can grab a spudger here, and this one has to be folded up all the way, so completely into a square. Sorry, I had that the wrong way. Fold that in there, and then close that inside. Next, we're going to take the head, and this is kind of wonky, but this entire chest has to come apart. So we're going to release it from here. There's two little tabs holding it. It doesn't really hold together all that tightly, so you can kind of just pull it. You can see the whole thing came apart. And we'll kind of set this up. It's a lot of stuff to deal with. So in here, we're going to reach into here, and you can see there's a little panel here. Actually, I want to fold this up. And this is going to rotate around and sit on the outside like that. Oh. And leave that up for now because we got to get this arm in there. So this arm's going to fold up into that shape like that. And this is all going to fold inside here. You can fold this one out. So this is the dragon arm, this is the robot arm. So they're basically going to swap places. All right, once you have the arm squared away in there, you can take this, and that's going to sit right on the front, just below the surface. Come to the back, fold these wings outwards to give yourself a little room. Take this arm, and that's going to swing out, and rotate all the way to the front, and just leave it sitting like that. Same for this arm. Swing this out and leave it sitting to the side, because those are both going to peg in to the sides. And this step is really tricky. So you got to open this up, and that's going to allow you to take this entire slider and slide this up and out of here. And this has got to rotate all the way to the bottom and come down here. And this is where it's hard not to scratch the metal, because one, I'm doing this on camera, so it's awkwardly positioned, and two, you've got to rest it somewhere, so there's not really a lot of places to rest it. But go ahead and take this. This is going to go back down onto here. There we go. So it should look like that. Open up the ab crunch here. And there's just so much stuff. Try to be careful not to scratch stuff, but rotate this way. Same on the other side, rotate that hip skirt, and just leave it like that. It's going to end up folding up flat against the body. Then you can close the ab crunch back. And actually, I forgot to show you that ab crunch during the articulation. There is a huge ab crunch and waist swivel. Forgot both of those. Sorry about that. But go ahead and close that up. Really nice big ab crunch there. Right, and this is going to... There's a lot of stuff going on here. Okay, so we're going to rotate this panel on here. So that should come all the way around the other side. And this can just sit here for now. You can close this back up, but make sure these arms are out of the way. So you're going to close this, open up these panels right here. And they kind of have to meet in the middle, so you want it kind of lined up here. So they should both kind of be right in the middle. So you want to get this pegged in here on the sides. And again, make sure the arms are out of the way. And then this peg is going to go into the top of the neck. So make sure it lines up and then push that in. We got those both in. Now these arms can come and peg to the sides for now and just sit there. Hard to show you, but right there. Right. Rotate these to the front. And the arms are going to eventually end up... There we go. All right, so leave those there for now. We'll take care of that in a little bit. All right, so come to here and open up these panels. It's a little bit weird the way it works. It does scrape up the paint back here, but you don't really see it back there on his butt anyway, so it doesn't matter too much, but I just want you to be aware it does scratch the paint. So we're going to take this panel here, and that's going to plug down and into this panel here. Go ahead and rotate this down. And it's going to extend. It's tricky to show on camera, but all right, here's a better look at what I'm doing. So these have to be pushed all the way up here, and then they're going to peg in to that black piece right here. That's a very tricky step because the manual doesn't really show you how to do that, but you need to do that in order for everything to work. Now that we've got that, we can kind of take care of the rest of this. So go ahead and take these panels, and they're going to flip around. You remember which way? Yeah, this way. Same on this side. Flip that around. So you have the holes on the inside. This is going to, actually before you do that, fold this downwards. These are going to fold downwards here. Take this panel and open up these clips right here. So just show you what that looks like. Fold these to the outside. So they're aimed like that. Go ahead and take this, and this is going to peg in. There's a little notch inside here that's going to fit over this peg. So get that fit onto there. And it's not going to stay until you get these two tabs in. So get that on there, and then come to the bottom here, get this lined up. Sorry about the visibility here. Get that lined in. So these two kind of hold this whole bottom piece in. Then you're going to take this. This already happened, but this chest piece collapsed inwards, that little ball. Take this. This is going to have a little spot right there to fit over that ball. So you're going to line this all up, make sure it fits in there, and that's going to just snap into place. Now that we have the chest all straightened up, go ahead and open up the legs up to here, and then you're going to fold it here on that bottom joint. That's going to make our dragon legs. Fold these dragon legs down. And same on this side. the leg up to there, fold down on this joint, and then rotate down. So you have it like that. Let's straighten up this tail here. Make sure you have all these toes straight. These knees should be sitting, so you gotta get them back up. Take these wings, those are gonna fold downwards, and you can basically just splay these apart and kind of get them set up however you wish. So get this folded upwards and then splay these wings out, and also open them to whatever degree you prefer. And there is Cold Dragon in his beast mode. What a crazy, sick looking thing. It's huge. It barely fits in my review area here. Let me get this angled backwards here. So there it is from the side. You can see this tail is quite long. A lot of articulation on this tail, so you can get all the way up. So each one of these is a ball joint. You can get down, you can get it to the side. I mean, you can really get a lot of movement out of this. These pincers on the end do open and close. You can open and close these. This can go up and down. So you can kind of do whatever. I mean, it's just pretty incredible tail. Oops. Coming to the front here, these arms. So they rotate here. I actually had this finished incorrectly. You want to fold it so that this bar is covered by the arm. So you have a full bend there, full rotation here, all the way around. Goes in and out. You have the arm or the hand can move up and down, and then the claws can pose individually. If you want to do that, you can. And these are all die cast up here. Get him posed down a little bit. The neck bends at each joint, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 joints. And then back up, all the way up to there. I showed you the head before. Opens up that much. And you get side to side. I mean, you can really get any angle with this. The level of articulation on this is probably one of the best I've ever seen on a beast. Golden Dragon does have one more mode here, which is his vehicle tank mode. So it's kind of interesting. So let's get him. There it is in the vehicle mode. I did forget to show you one thing. So open up this and rotate it that way. And there you have jet engines on the back of those. So you want to do that on both sides. And there you go. It's all right. It does roll on these wheels right here. There's 1, 2, 3 wheels on each side. It's fine. I guess he did this in the show. I don't know. It's all right, but me personally don't love this mode. I just think it's a little wonky. So final thoughts on the Zhangzing Cold Dragon. Let's start with the positives. This thing is painted beautifully. The whole thing is painted. I mean, the amount and also just the level of detail all over. It just looks impressive just from the paint alone. The accessories are really nice. I like the fact that you can choose between flame or the blue, blast, cold blast effect. That looks really nice. The head sculpts are both good in both robot mode and vehicle mode. You get plenty of accessories. They all look nice and they're detailed well. I also think that the overall articulation is really, bar none, probably one of the best beasts I've seen. Personally, I think this is probably the best Beast Wars figure I have handled. Now, I don't have any connection to the character, so it doesn't matter to me. But for as far as quality and level of detail and articulation, paint, sculpt, all of that, this is probably the best Beast Wars I've ever seen. Negatives-wise, there are some paint scrapes here and there. Most of them are invisible. They're kind of hidden on the back or in panels where you're not going to see it. But because it's fully painted, you are going to end up with some paint scrapes here and there. So you want to watch out for that. Just be careful and look out where you're posing and bending things. The transformation isn't that hard, but I would say it takes up a lot of room. So if you're going to display this guy, kind of no matter what mode, you're going to kind of need a whole shelf just for him. So he does take up a lot of real estate, does take a lot of space. It would look good, obviously, with other Beast Wars characters, but you're going to need a display for this size of a character. Other than that, I do recommend it. I think it's a great figure. Now, whether you get the original red version or you get this blue version, doesn't really matter. I think red is probably more accurate to the cartoons. A lot of people would probably prefer that, but this one is just as beautiful. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.